Welcome back, Grind Force Gamers. Datskat back here again, and Falcon on the other line. What's up, Falcon?
What's going on, guys? Great to be here with Datskat.
Loving it, man. And today we are going to be talking about a May 2024 tier list video for special summon fighters. If you're new to the game, or maybe you have a bunch of special summon tickets, maybe you didn't pull for the turtles, then this video is going to be for you. Also, with the Southeast Asia server going up, we have a lot of action on our Discord channel trying to help out some of those accounts. So this special summon video will be very helpful to those players out there in Southeast Asia. So please stick around and enjoy this tier list video. So Falcon, what do you think about these special summon characters?
So the special summon characters are the most sought after fighters in the game. These are the ones that we all want, but they're the hardest to get. Yeah. So it's very important for us to focus our resources and know who we're going to pull for, and make sure that it's a smart choice, because it's a big investment of resources and time. So you don't want to waste it on a character that you're not going to use. So that's what this video will be hopefully able to help you out with.
So, and this goes all the way from let's see, Gormagala to the turtles, guys. So, everyone in between here, and we have a lot of new characters since the last time we've done a tier list video. So I'm really excited to get this up and out. And I think first we should let's just talk about the turtles. Well,
I think that's a good idea. Let's get started on the thing that we're all excited about.
Yeah, and so, you know, the turtles, I think, are very interesting because the turtles as a team is so incredibly strong, guys. I mean, I've seen some of these scores in the leaderboards. They're looking pretty good. Leo is shining. However, I don't think Leo shines nearly as much if you don't have the full turtle team built up. And I don't know how many of us have the full turtle team built up. I surely don't. So I think, Falcon, I think that's got to factor into our placement of somebody like Leo, even though he can put up just as good scores as Fire Don and V Vega, you know.
Yeah, it is a little bit conditional in Leo's case. He needs his other turtles helping him out. Now, he's still a really powerful unit.
Yeah.
But those other turtles behind him are what really makes him shine.
Yeah, and I think for this the SS tier here, I'm just gonna put it as must have. So I'm not sure Leo is a must-have, but I think there are other fighters like, in my opinion, V Vega or Honda. I think those two fighters, I think they are must-haves.
I agree completely. Those are the two to chase right now. The turtles are super, super fun, and Leo in particular is a killer boss unit. He's probably number 2 right behind V Vega. You can make a case for Fire Adon, but in any case, V Vega is just so incredibly powerful. When he's got the right team with him, he can one-shot an enemy team in PvP under the right conditions. It's really, really strong. And then Rich Honda is probably my new favorite fighter in a lot of ways, because that meter build is insane. Any team that he goes with just gets way, way more combo rotations.
Oh, it's ridiculous. And I'm even using him as an A+, which makes him even better, you know. If you can get value...
Yep, I'm only using him as an A+ as well.
Yeah, Nova GFG, he's got him up, and he's been using him with great success, guys. He is a slam dunk. Summon for him, build him. But I think you might want to build V Vega first. You know, really get those boss scores up there, because you don't need Richie Honda to make Fire Adon, like, pretty darn good.
I would amend that just a little bit. I would say make sure you at least get your A+ copy of Richie Honda. That would be more important in my view than an A+ copy of V Vega. So I do the A+ copy of Richie Honda, so you can add him to the mix right away for the boss fights in particular, and then go all in on V Vega.
Love it. Okay, so I'm gonna have Richie Honda, V Vega, and then where are we gonna put Leo? He is either in the must-have or S.
I'd say S, probably. I think he's pretty firmly in the S category.
Okay.
Since we're considering the top 1 must-haves, I don't think he fits that criteria.
Yeah.
But he's amazing. He will he will increase your boss scores for sure if you get him, even if you don't have any of the other turtles. But if you do have the other turtles, then he's gonna really, really shine.
Yeah, those scores are nuts. Let's keep going with some turtles here. Let's go with Michelangelo. Let's talk about Mikey here. So I don't think he's a must-have. I'm not going to even consider that. But S or A? What are you thinking, Falcon?
Mikey's an interesting one, and it's definitely the turtle that I know the least about. I don't have, well, I have whatever the free copies that we were able to get. I have those, but otherwise I do not have Mikey. I have not used him yet. But as I understand it, he is a tanky unit. He will be the tank of the turtles.
Yeah.
Let's see, I gotta check through his skills again.
Yeah,
do you use him at all? Do you have him built in any way?
No, I didn't do any polls for Leo or for Michelangelo. So I put Mikey down in the A because he's a really good turtle. He's a really good tank. If you have other turtles, he's great because all the turtles kind of work off of each other. But he is not on the same tier as Leonardo. He just isn't there.
I agree completely. I think A is the right spot for him.
You know, and I don't think these turtles are going to go much lower than A. So I think Raphael, I think he's a solid A because he's really good for boss fights. He's really good as an assist for Donatello in PvP. I don't know how Leonardo is in PvP, but maybe he's a little too slow. But his boss scores are going to be really good. So I don't think he's essential to have. I don't think he's like the linchpin of any team. But he certainly is nice, and he certainly is fun, and he is a fantastic assist. So I think A is really good for him. What do you think, Falcon?
Yeah, I was kind of fluctuating between A or maybe even S, having the trigger ability, and forget what his stacks are called, but those help out a lot as well for just boosting everyone.
Yeah.
But I think you're probably right. A is the right place for him. He's not a Leonardo. I would say he's probably very slightly above Mikey if you're thinking about it between the two of them. But yeah, I think A is the right spot for both of them.
Yeah, agreed there. And partially because I think Donatello, because he is so plug and play, you can kind of put him anywhere, and he's like really darn good as a healer and as a pseudo tank even, because he's throwing shields up all the time. I think he's S. Yeah. I think he's right there with Leo.
Yep.
Just definitely functionality is a little different, right?
Those tech shields they're like Abel's shields, but they're being thrown up by all of these different things going on. And he's fantastic, and his FS30 is amazing. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, and I think he's like an upgraded Summer Yang, almost with damage and the ability to have Raph as the assist and pull out those trigger skills, which is awesome in PvP. I've been running a PvP team, Falcon, and it's Donatello and with Raphael as the assist, Sea Viper, Gouken, and Summer Elena. In the tag.
Oh, okay.
And I've been cleaning house on the battle royales.
Nice.
You know what team?
I love it.
You know what team gets me every time?
V Vega.
V Vega.
V Vega.
Every time.
There you go, guys. That's why he's at the top.
It's the second combo chain he goes through. That second C3 is a wipe. Just straight wipe. Everybody's gone. There's no chance. No.
Even with Gouken, huh?
Yeah. My Gouken's not SSS, so maybe that would help. But he kind of just nukes through Goukens. He's so good. That's why he's
insanely good.
That's why he's must-have, and I don't have him, and I'm jealous. So we got
neither of us have either of the must-haves at Triple S.
But that doesn't mean that we're not spot on with that call. I think anybody who has them also knows those two characters are must-haves. Pull for them now if you don't have them. Okay, so let's talk about some interesting ones. Oni. Oni
is an interesting one.
Yes, he is interesting. He's not must-have. I can't put him up there.
He's not must-have.
But as far as like PvP comps, the only other team that has beaten me was an Oni team, all decked out.
Yeah.
Yep, that was it.
Oni is one of the three units that I very regularly borrow as mercenaries. I'll borrow Nova's
Yeah,
like
you're gonna borrow Nova's Oni, and his Oni is like FS40, you know,
Yeah, he's got it stacked out,
all stacked out.
and
So
that's helped me out with a lot of campaign stages.
yeah,
And I
he's,
imagine, and I've seen him floating around PvP quite a lot too.
yeah,
He shows up in HWA.
yep,
Yeah, I'm leaning toward S. I
yeah.
think.
That's I put him in S. I think he's better than Raphael. He's better than Michelangelo, but I think he's on. I think he's not quite as good as Leo, and he
Hmm.
might. I don't know. Donatello's versatility is so good. I
Yeah, if
think.
we had to rank between those two, it would be very, very close, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Either way, you go either way on this, guys. Both are really good. Okay, moving on. Um, we're gonna talk about Evo Ryu here, and I think this one's also really interesting.
Well, you need to kick us off, Datskat, because you have the built-out Evil Ryu.
Yeah, I did. I built him out real good. And I use him all over the place. Mostly in PvP teams. He's a PvP powerhouse. Awesome, and he can take out a Bison, which is really good if you don't have V Vega, let's say, and you started building Evil Ryu. Evil Ryu will also take out a Bison. His passive canceling is huge, and he's like really beefy. Like surprisingly kind of beefy on some teams. Like he hangs there, and just puts out damage. I love him as a trigger unit too. You know, Oni's not a trigger unit. Oni is a slotted skill fighter. But Evo Ryu being a trigger unit, you can pepper him in pretty well anywhere, and he's going to do just fine.
Yeah, I wanted to come back to the point you made about his tankiness. I mean, he's not a tank,
No.
but he hangs on for a long time. Like Oni, for example, can be a little on the fragile side. Even though he puts out huge numbers on the DPS, he can, be taken out by an assassin pretty easily. Whereas Evil Ryu is pretty beefy. Like you said, he's hangs in there with his HP.
Yeah, and so I think Evo Ryu is probably in the S tier as well, right next to Oni, either side of him.
Yep, probably one tiny notch above Oni.
Okay, that's what
But
I agree.
even that could go either way.
It really can. Just depends on what you need,
Yeah.
You can put those trigger units right on that field and get value, and they're so much fun to just watch pop off. Speaking of trigger units, we're going to talk about Summer Elena next.
Summer Elena.
She's fantastic.
She is fantastic. She is the rare instance where we have a healing trigger unit. So she can just sit there in the tag, not on the field, but she'll be doing all of her healing as your other fighters are throwing their combos up, which is a very unique case. Most of the time, those trigger units are all about DPS.
Yes, like all of a sudden, I don't have to worry about the healing part, and I don't need to slot a C1 for healing. I have the ability to then slot a C1 for tech shields, like in Donatello's. Or like if I want a stun in there, Sagat has a stun on a C1, so like there's options with C1, damaging C1s or even C1s that help build like shock or burn or bleed or whatever your team is trying to do. I just love the healing, and I would put her above Evo Ryu. But behind the turtles. Well, I don't know.
She's behind Leo.
Yeah.
But man, she might be only behind Leo.
I think so because Donatello's so good though. But I think she fits into more teams as a trigger unit.
Yeah, I would say in general, because of her utility as a trigger support, because she has that role. No one else quite has it. Summer Ibuki's kind of similar, but it's not the same. It's not a heal like that.
Okay, so now we're getting into some fun fighters. Let's talk about Akuma.
Akuma. See, I initially was, I don't want to say disappointed, but I was, not super thrilled at the results that I was getting when I first got Akuma.
Yeah.
Now, I really like Akuma a lot. I've been using him all over the place. Now I've got his soul power to 80.
Okay.
And he's starting to, now he can survive. Now he doesn't just get sniped or whatever.
Yeah.
he can actually he can start building his stacks, throw up those Shinshan Gokusatsu, and just rack up the damage. So I've been loving Akuma. That said, he is probably lower than most of the units we've talked about so far.
I slotted him in an A ahead of Michelangelo, behind Raphael.
I think that's exactly right.
And I put him there because he is kind of versatile, and he's been out for a very long time, so the chances of people having him built up might be a little greater. I don't know, but he's been around. He's tried and true. He's got a good kit, and his damage is right there. You see him on PvP. He's a great third team PvP fighter, maybe even second team PvP fighter.
My opening team is an Akuma comp.
Yeah, love it, love it. Yeah, I think he deserves all of A, and right there in between the two turts. So let's talk about Gouken now, because he's fallen down in my opinion, but I want to know what you think, Falcon.
I think he's really, really good. I think he's an amazing tank. He's one of the very few tanks in the special summon pool.
Yeah.
He's definitely no Richie Honda, but the his ability to revive players is unlike anything else.
Yeah.
And he's a rock solid tank. I would probably lean toward S for Gouken.
Okay, I put him at S, but I put him all the way at the end because there are so many great tanks that are not special summon pulls. I'm gonna put Zangief on a lineup. OG Zangief, that is. I'm gonna put probably Bison as a pseudo tank, even though he's a fighter.
OG Honda.
OG Honda is really darn good. Any of these fighters you can throw in. If you bought Nero's a great tank. So there are options out there, and the gimmick of the revive is not necessary, but boy is it nice, and he really does provide some beef out front. Like I'm saying, I'm using him at an SS plus right now on my PvP team that cannot be beaten, other than V Vega. At the end of S is where he belongs. Maybe I'd put him above the DPS units, just because.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If I were making the call, I'd say maybe a little above Oni, for example. Probably Evil Ryu as well.
Yep.
But he's right there in that tier for sure.
Okay, so I before you even said it, I was already moving him to that slot. I think that's the right call. Okay, hey, moving on. Yeah, this one's really great. Cammy Vega.
Cammy Vega.
Yeah.
I love Cammy Vega. I have them built up to SS +2, so I've got their soul power up to 80. Wow. So now they can do some work for me. They've been really great on these boss battles, for example, during the events. They've been a fantastic unit to have on the field.
Didn't you say that you were having good success with the Hugo fight with them, or you getting some good hits on?
Yep. So Vega does a super low slash, and Cammy also, they both stay pretty low to the ground. So my best scoring team against the super mini Hugo was a Dulcim and Cammy Vega comp with Donatello thrown in there for tech shields.
Oh, I love that team. That team is wild. No one is running that team, but that team is awesome.
Cammy Vega also has their super is very unique because that's the one that swaps the character.
Okay.
A couple interesting things going on because one of them causes armor break, the other one causes bleed. And then when they switch characters with the super combo, then the next super combo you do with them is free. And then the next one you do with them is free again if you have all 6 vehicles. So it's a way to almost cheat the combo system in a way as well as a little bonus on top.
Yeah, so you could just start firing it off. I mean, have you ever put Richie Honda and Cammy Vega together? Is that broken?
That's
an
interesting question. I'm not sure if I have. I should definitely give that a try though, because having all those combos go off in a boss fight in particular will be interesting to try.
It might be too much. You know what I mean? It might be too much meter for you to use actively. So I put Cammy Vega, I think either low S or the highest A, maybe even above Raphael.
I think because we're talking about special summons here, I think they're probably at the very highest end of A. You could make an argument for the lower end of S.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of right on the cusp.
Yeah. I just think they're a little more... they're a trigger unit, right? Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Full trigger unit.
So I think they're just a little bit better than Raphael, because a lot of Raphael's awesomeness comes from the fact that he can be paired with Donatello or the other turtles. Cammy Vega is really, really darn good, and they're fast, and they do a lot of DPS, and they're different DPS than some of these other units, like Oni, for example, or even Evil Ryu, that, you know, gets a decent amount, but Cammy Vega is putting up some numbers for you, right, Falcon? Like, good numbers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In the right comp, Cammy Vega will go off.
Yeah. Love it. I think high A above Raphael even. I'm fine with that.
I agree.
I'm fine with that. I do love
And
Raphael, though.
if you're a Vega lover like I am, and you just want to get them like I did, you know, you could go ahead and put them in S in your own mind. Like, get the people that you want to get. This is just to kind of give you a guide for who's working the best within the meta. But go with the players that you want to play with.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like, that's the whole fun of this game. And if you are wondering at all who you should, you know, invest in, join our Discord. Start chatting in our Street Fighter Duel general chat, and we'd love to see you there. Ask any question you want. We have some really knowledgeable people in the Discord who are eager and willing to help you with anything you have, especially if you're coming from the Southeast Asian server. We'd love to see you there and help build some accounts out there with the knowledge that we have. Quick example here. Somebody from the Southeast Asia server on our Discord was asking about OG Zangief. And we did find out last night that OG Zangief's 6 out of 6 vehicles is different in the game. And
That's right.
It drastically changes OG Zangief, because in the Southeast Asian server, the 6 out of 6 vehicles no longer negates passives.
Right. And that was a huge... That was like the reason to get his vehicles.
Yeah. That's a big part of his kit. So we're finding stuff out like that actively, and it's a really fun community. Please join our Discord. Okay, I got another fighter queued up here, Falcon.
Who do we got?
Trendy Guile.
Trendy Guile. Oh, man. So this is a weird one. Outside of the Thunder Tower, I almost never see Trendy Guile.
Yeah, I don't see him anywhere. Which tells us that
one or two of the whales might have it in a boss comp, but it's super rare to see.
Yeah, I can't put him in the same category. He's not an A. He's
absolutely not an A.
He might be a C, but I don't have any Bs yet, so I'll just put him at B for right now. But he's certainly low on the list, guys. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah, unfortunately, nothing has come onto the scene that's made him, you know, pop off or whatever in any way. He's just not, other than the Thunder Tower, which he will help you advance in that. But I mean, come on, you're not going to get a special summon fighter for a little push in the Thunder Tower. So yeah, he's going to be really toward the bottom of these special summon characters, unfortunately.
Yeah, if your account is to the point where you're pulling special summon characters for towers, like, you got a pretty awesome account.
Yeah, you don't need us.
You got a really good account. Okay, so we're just gonna leave him in no man's land. I'm just gonna put him down as a C. He's unimpressive. Okay, somebody I don't.
I think so, yeah.
Next up on the list, somebody I don't really know a lot about is Baddest Yuri.
Baddest Yuri, I borrowed as a mercenary one time.
Okay.
That is my only experience with her.
And she's not trigger skills, right? She's slotted C1, C3 or super.
No, she is trigger. I'm pretty sure she's trigger.
Okay, I'm gonna
look her up real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the gallery here.
Yes, she is a full trigger unit.
Full trigger unit. Okay, full trigger unit. There she is.
A lot of people actually were making comparisons to Gormagala Ken when she first came out. And that's actually not a bad comparison. She is a damage dealer in that regard, but she doesn't have a gimmick. She doesn't have anything that is uniquely her that will add something to your team that someone else doesn't do.
She didn't come out and everybody was like, now that's a boss unit, you know? And she didn't come out and everybody was like, that's a PvP unit. She didn't come out and everybody was like, that's the best PvE unit. She's good at a lot of those things, I think, but I don't think she's quite there.
I think she's good, not great at most things.
Yep.
Which usually means the character ends up on the bench because they aren't specializing in anything.
That's just the brass tacks. Like a medium range character that's kind of good at everything just doesn't have a role to play in a lot of these team comps. Like, you're building a team to do something, and if you're not, and if you're slotting a character in that team that's doing something that's just like at everything, there's a better character to put in that team. That's all I'm saying.
Yep, exactly. So I would say, and she does put up some great damage. She's just not the best at it. So I'd say probably in the B tier.
And then your boy Gormagala Ken, and I'll relinquish the mic and let you talk about this guy.
My Gormagala Ken. I'm so happy to finally have him at Triple S. That was such a the longest of grinds.
That is Grind Force Gaming right there. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's what we're about here at Grind Force. In case you missed it, I got a Triple S Gormagala Ken after getting 1 copy during the event and then using 13 Chaotic Starlights to get him to Triple S.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's dedication. I love it. Oh man, and you just completed this little quest, haven't you?
Yeah, that was just like last week, I think.
Goodness gracious. So I think he's really good, but you know, he was the first collab. So I don't know if he's Akuma was the first special summon, but he was the first collab. He came out before Akuma.
Actually, no, he came out before Akuma.
Yeah, they did. They like launched the game with that. I think like week 2 was the Monster Hunter.
It was the very first event.
Crazy.
That's how long I've been grinding the Starlights.
Love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's really cool. So, where would you slot him though? I think he's kind of like Baddest Yuri, right?
He's kind of like Baddest Yuri. But you know, he has some other things going on with his Dragon Rage curse and things like that that give him an edge. Mostly, I went all in on him because I think he's probably the coolest character in the game. I was just all about it.
Yeah.
Realistically, he is very top of B or in the lower end of A, I think.
I like the B because like Raphael and Cammy Vega and Akuma are in A. I don't think Gormagala. If you had to summon Cammy Vega or Gormagala Ken, who would you summon?
Cammy Vega.
Yep. And I think that just rings true for the A tier. So I'm gonna go top of B, but shoot, man, if you really like him and because he looks like a badass and you wanna be all about it, summon for him. He's fun, you know. Well,
heck yeah, man. I don't regret it one bit. Even if I don't end up using him in a lot of the boss fights or he doesn't help me in the campaign, he's a super dope unit. I'm super glad I got him, so I'm happy, and that's how I'm going to play the game.
Heck yeah, man. And I need to amend something I just said. You can't pull for him. He was a special summon unit, so if you didn't
nobody can pull for him.
If you didn't get him back in the day, you don't have him. You can't get him. Sorry, Toodles. And now we need to talk about some other. Well, hold on. We have one more not collab fighter to talk about, and that's Trendy Akuma. But I think that talk will go quite quickly because I don't think he's really all that good. I think he's better than Trendy Guile. I'm thinking B, somewhere in the B.
I agree, but I will say I think he's gonna find something later on. Something's gonna trigger with Trendy Akuma, and those spheres that orbit him are gonna be buffed in just the right way or something. I think he could be a unit to watch, but right now I agree. I think he's a B tier unit.
Okay, and would you put him above Gormagala Ken?
Not right now, no.
Not yet, but he's just chilling right around with Baddest Yuri, just hanging out. Either way.
Yep. Yeah, right around there.
Okay, Dante, we don't need to talk about. I put him at D for Dante. And we have one more fighter to talk about, and that's Virgil. So he was Nero's cohort, right? In the
yeah.
And Virgil's pretty interesting. Like when he first came out, you were seeing him. I think he had his day in the sun, but I not seeing too much of Virgil anymore. I don't know. It's like he found his way to the bench.
Yeah, I think he kind of followed the same path that Gore Magala Ken did, where when they first came out, these were the brand new units and they were a huge deal and they fit in the right circumstances to really make a big difference on your teams. And now there's so many more fighters that we just don't see these guys like we used to.
Yeah. And he was a collab fighter, so if you didn't get him, you can't get him. Sorry.
There's nothing you can do to pull for him now, so it's kind of a moot discussion.
Yeah. Okay, well, that completes our list. I'm just going to do a quick recap, Falcon, here.
Ooh.
We got the must-haves.
Hit me.
Rich E Honda and V Vega. Gotta have them.
Gotta have them.
There's no question about those two units. They are, I'm hesitant to say this, but they're almost future-proof. Because what they do it so good. like Richie Honda, he does a little bit of everything. He gives you speed, he's beefy, and he's a DPS. He has DPS. So
yeah, that's the really wild thing, because on top of all of the extra combo meter and everything, he is still putting up enormous amounts of damage, especially if you get him built up and you get his vehicles and everything. He's an insane unit.
Super cool. In S, we got a Leo, Summer Elena, Donatello, Gouken, Evil Ryu, and Oni in that order. And I really like that order.
I do too. I think that sounds spot on.
Yeah. In A, we got Cammy Vega, Raphael, Akuma Original, and Michelangelo in that order. The only one I'm feeling weird about is Raphael. I don't know.
What are you thinking? You lean in which way?
No, I'm not. I don't think he should move now. I'm just going to have my eye on him. I think that we're going to see some really cool boss comps with him.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I just don't think it's fully realized yet. Okay, moving on. B, we have Gore Magala Ken, Baddest Yuri, Trendy Akuma, and Virgil. C, we have Trendy Guile. And D for Dante, don't talk about, can't get him anyway, worthless, sorry if you did, Sorry if you spent money on him, guys. That sucks. That sucks.
And some people dropped like thousands for him.
Yeah, I think a lot of people quit the game after that. I'll put him down in IDK. I don't know. That about wraps it up for the May 2024 edition of the Grind Force Gaming tier list here. These are the special summon units. This is a great video, and this is a lot of good information to help you make good choices about your account. Again, if you're in the Southeast Asian server, some of these units aren't available to you yet. Don't worry, you'll get there. Join our Discord in the meantime, and we'll help you get the best account possible so that when you do get there, you're prepared and you're ready and you're pulling for the right people. So, Falcon, anything to add here right at the end?
Maybe one more plug for our Discord, man. I can't praise that enough. Lately, especially, it's been blowing up with the Southeast Asian server opening up, and all these new people are coming in and asking questions about a game that they're just discovering. And of course, we've been playing it for a year and a half now, so we're able to help out a lot. And it's really it's fun to watch those notifications popping up all day long as people are just chatting and helping each other get better. So make sure you check that out, guys. And if this video helped you out, if this is a good guide for you, make sure you drop a like here, drop a comment, subscribe to Grind Force Gaming.
All of it, man. All of it. Well, that does it for this edition of Grind Force Gaming. Take care, guys. Peace out.
Awesome chat with you, Scat. Later.